Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm still playing Polis. And, well, Sparta is in a terrible position. They have only little population, they have few resources, only 2 prestige points. So their options are extremely limited. Athens, though, is doing well. They have 11 prestige points and quite a bit of population. In addition, they have more hoplites on the board, much more. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Sparta won't win anymore. And I think that was something we could see after the first round already. Now we have the plague and humiliation here during this round. Basically we already lost 2 population in Athens, and in addition we have now the situation that if Athens moves at least 3 hoplites to Messenia, and there are also Spartan hoplites, then Athens gets prestige equal to the number of Spartan hoplites there. In addition, they are allowed to remove half the Spartan hoplites rounded up. So that's a really bad situation, because Messenia is a region that gives Sparta a lot of wheat. So usually they really want to go there and collect their tribute. But that then will give the Athenians the option to attack, and that obviously sucks. So Sparta starts again in this round because they have less prestige. And I see if I can come up with any plan. It's a very desperate situation right now. Yeah, the Spartans are in a very desperate situation. If they want food, and obviously they need food, they need some resources to trade if they cannot get it from Messenia. But they don't even have resources. So they somehow have to collect resources, but well, here they have 2 hoplites, but they don't control the area, and they cannot attack here because they need 3 to attack. So before it makes sense to collect resources anywhere, they actually have to move hoplites, which would cost them a prestige point, and then they would have they must use their last prestige point to collect the resources, which would give them then the opportunity for a trade. But I mean, this is all pretty ridiculous and hopeless. So I think what they're going to do now is they're going to simply try a risky move. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, to be honest, but I don't see any other options left. So I'm gonna attack here. I'm going to move to Thebai in Boeotia and try to fight there. I have a little advantage when fighting on land. And fighting is a way to gain prestige. So if I'm lucky, this might be at least a move that allows me to get a little more options. And otherwise, you know, it's a glorious death. If I win the battle here, I might be even able then to capture Thebes and maybe capture this sucker here. So, you know, this is basically what I'm planning now. So first we got to move our units, and I'm going to move all units that I have, 4 of them, right here. 2 bits, yeah. And now we see a battle, because if there are 8 or more units in one space, a battle occurs. And that is the case here. So for a battle we have to use the battle cards. We're going to shuffle these, and then each player gets a number of battle cards equal to the number of hoplites they have in the area. Oh, before we start the battle, I forgot to read the historical background for this round. During the period represented by the 3rd round, hostilities once again erupt, beginning the Archedemian War. Sparta repeatedly pillages Attica, and the population takes refuge behind Athens' walls, where they suffer and die from the plague. One of the victims, the Athenian ruler Pericles. Nevertheless, Athens recovers, and a temporary truce is declared, the Peace of Nicaea. Okay. Okay, so now every player has 4 of these combat cards here. And they keep them secret, so that only they can see them. And we have here combat cards. Some are for the lower part here is for sea battle. The upper part is for land battle. So we forget about the lower part for now. But it's basically, there is no big difference. So we can see that each card shows some kind of unit type. For example, here the peltasts, the cavalry, or the phalanx over here. And in addition, they show a maneuver. For example, hold, advance, and here also advance. Okay? And what I do is I simply play 2 cards. These are my attack cards. And the opponent tries to match these cards with his 4 cards. And depending on the result, the defender might take losses. The attacker can never take losses, so only the defender might. And we see here on the upper right corner how often the cards actually occur. So this cavalry advance card with a number of 1, this is a card we find 4 times in the deck, and with the number 0 we find it 2 times in the deck. And this card here is only 3 times in the deck. So we try to find a card which is pretty rare and play this one. So I think... Nah. Okay, I guess I want to play the cavalry advance card. Might also be good to have a second one of that because that means that the chance that the other guy has one is a little bit lower. And I play this hold peltast card. And now the other guy has to find cards to match these. And, well, first of all, it's important that he matches the type of the unit. If he matches the type of the unit, that means he doesn't lose any hoplites. If he matches the type and the maneuver, then there is no consequence at all. Both don't lose anything. If he matches only if he matches only the type but not the maneuver, then the attacking player gets the difference in points as glory points. So let's assume, and that's exactly what happens here, this guy plays here the cavalry hold card, okay? That means they match the type of unit but not the maneuver. So the Spartan player, the attacker, gains 1 prestige point here. But the defending player doesn't lose a hoplite because the unit matches. Sadly, the defending player doesn't have any peltasts, so they got to come up with with something here. Maybe that calf, it's not worth a lot, 0 pointer. So that means because the unit doesn't match, they will simply lose a hoplite, but because there is no advantage here for the because of the card number, that means that the attacker will not gain any prestige for this pair of cards. So in the end, 1 prestige here for the attacker and 1 less hoplite here for the defender. So that was a pretty good start for Sparta. And now Athens has 2 options. They could now retreat and give Sparta one of their prestige points, and then the battle would end. We would all stay here in the area, but simply Sparta would have 1 additional prestige point. We can also fight on, and I think I want to do that. Yeah, why not? So what happens now is that the Spartan player can draw 2 new cards from the deck. I'm going to flip that. And the Athenian player can draw 2 cards minus the number of units he has lost. So in the end he only draws 3 cards. So basically that he ends up with 1 card for each unit that is still fighting. That means, and now the Athenian player is the attacker and the Spartan player is the defender. I'm going to use my advanced archers card here, and I'm going to use the hold peltasts card. We'll see what the Spartan player has. That doesn't look too great. Nope, absolutely not. He's in big trouble. He doesn't have any archers nor any peltasts. So that means he can only play these 2 cards here. And that means he will lose 2 units, but no prestige for Athens. Still, pretty bad situation once again for Sparta here. So Athens also discards his card. Athens can draw 2 new cards. Sparta cannot draw any cards at all. But they're gonna keep on fighting, and they throw in their 2 last cards here. So we get a phalanx advance and a cavalry advance. Yeah, okay. No big deal here. Athens has good cards against this. A phalanx, ostismos, and a cavalry advance. So here is no effect at all. same basically here, because this number here is higher than that one. So in the end, there is no, there's no consequences in this battle, and everybody can draw 2 cards. And Athens is now the attacker. Okay, Athens can play again the Pell test, which is pretty bad because I think there might be no more in the deck. And the archers advance. And here we have, okay, also an archers advance, but only a phalanx here, which is not good enough to defend against the Spartan attack. So that means that against the Athenian attack, so that means Sparta will actually lose another unit. And at that point, if one of them has less than 2 units in the area, the battle automatically ends. The battle would have also ended, by the way, if there were no more cards to draw from, but in this case the battle ends, and again Sparta lost. Yeah, okay, and I don't know, I mean, it's hard to find a reason now to go on, to be honest, and I have no idea what to do. I really don't. Okay, I'm pretty sure that Sparta is at a point where they have no more options, basically. I think they really cannot do... They cannot really follow a plan anymore here. The reason is they have 2 prestige points, okay? So what they could do is they could move their hoplite somewhere, or their single hoplite somewhere, then try to collect tribute. They could, for example, collect wood. The problem is they cannot even buy another hoplite, right? Because they don't have any metal left. So they could collect wood, for example, then with their last prestige points in Acarnania. No, they can't do it in Acarnania. I don't know where they can do it. Well, that's great. They don't have any access to wood, actually. So there is not even a way to gain wood. That would have been the only good they had, where they have 3 left. But, so there is no way for them to trade, actually. And there is no, there is no way to do anything else. So at that point, Sparta simply passes. They cannot go on. They're completely out of options here. Athens is in a different situation. They can now try to gain resources to feed their people. So basically it's now about, I don't know, I mean, just doing this somehow in the right way. Fiddling around a little bit. It's a, little bit of a puzzle now. I mean, okay, we could, for example, simply try to capture Messenia, and there is a lot of wheat to gain. So that might actually be a cool option. I think I might want to do that. But before I do that, I might think about, well, now the 5 offers are available. Okay, I think what I want to do is, well, I got to keep in mind that I have to pay now for every action I take, which is not that great. So I think first I actually want to pay a silver to move these guys here, 5 of them. It also costs me a prestige point. Then I'm going to pay 1 oil, or maybe my last silver, to pay to collect resources in Boeotia. And well, let me see, we got 5 guys there. So I think I want to take 6 oil and 3 metal. Okay. So that brings me up to 8 and 3 metal. Fine. Then with our next action, we're going to spend, I don't know, I think I want to spend 1 oil and move with all these guys to Messenia. Costs me another prestige. Then I'm going to pay another prestige and a medal to attack the city. And this is an easy win. So now Pylos is mine. I can take that now from these guys. They have now another problem. They have now lost their commercial center, and they already have lost Guteion. That means they can also not trade anymore. Okay, so there we go. And then with another action we're going to collect tribute from there. I'm going to take 3, I'm going to take 6 wheat and 3 oil. So I got now 10 oil and 6 wheat. Then with another action I'm going to start a trade, and I'm going to move here and I'm going to pay 5 oil for 5 more wheat. Okay, and then I got to roll the die. And the price goes up 3 spaces, which sucks a little bit, but okay. Okay, I'm going to use another trade option now. So I will pay 1 oil. Then, remember, I always got to pay a good if I want to do anything, because Sparta has passed already. Then I'm going to trade with Persia for... shit, I cannot do that. I cannot pay 5 oil. So I'm not going to pay 1 oil, I'm going to pay 1 wheat instead. And then I'm going to trade with Persia. And that costs me 5 oil to get 4 additional wheat. And then we roll again the die. And the oil price goes down a little more, but not too bad. And while I might do another trade action, we got now 14 wheat. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 7, 11. That's 15. So we definitely need more wheat. Okay, I think it kind of sucks. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to simply pass 2. It's getting more and more expensive to... I will lose more and more points if I move around here, try to get more and more wheat. And I also have to pay wheat to be allowed to do the different actions. So it kind of seems that it doesn't make too much sense, actually. Therefore, I'm going to pass myself. And we come to the end of the round here. So we have no project at that time. Supply. Okay, so every player has to pay wheat. The problem is he cannot pay wheat, okay? So what he has to do is he has to pay his prestige points for each cube he wants to feed. So if he wants to end up with at least 1 prestige point at the very end of the turn, and otherwise he would have lost this game, well, he should destroy these 2 cities so that he's at least able to feed Sparta. But, well, I don't know, to be honest, I really don't see a reason why I should do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think at this point I'm going to lose Epidamnos and I'm going to feed Corcura and feed Sparta and whatever. Okay, supply for these guys. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 4. That's 7, 9. That's 13, 15. Okay, so we cannot pay all. We can only pay 14. So I say we lose Chios. Well, actually, I could pay prestige for these suckers, but whatever. I'm gonna simply lose them. Okay. Growth is not possible because nobody has any wheat left. Megalopolis. 1 prestige awarded for every polis exceeding base population. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means they are back at 10 here. Storage and forest. Okay. Okay. And now the game is over because a player does not have any prestige left after end of round phase. That applies for Sparta. They realized this thing doesn't make any sense anymore. And, well, they basically gave up, which is, in this situation, I think, completely legal. So we have a clear winner. Sparta ended up with, well, they've lost. Sparta simply lost at that point. They don't have to count their victory points. They would have had 2, but because if you don't have any prestige left, you've lost the game. They have now, in the end... Well, actually, that's not quite correct. Sparta has... Yeah, they have 2. The Athenian player has 10, 11, 13, 16, 18, 22, 24. This guy gives them 2 more, so it's 26, 27 for the statue. Okay, that's it. So they would have had 27 points if it would matter. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the game. It's really hard because in a way it's a shame. I think this could be a very good game. There are many interesting mechanisms that I like. You have a lot of options. You can fight, although I think the fight mechanism it simply sucks, I mean, you got these matching cards. I don't know. I think a bunch of dice would do it. You don't have to fiddle around with these cards. I don't see any big strategic options there or something, and it's I don't know, whatever. So you can fight. You can achieve cultural advantages. You can do diplomacy. You can trade, and yeah, that's cool. You have even this dynamic market here, although it's a very simple one. You got some interesting events, no doubt, and actually kind of historically accurate events. Not just some generic stuff. So from that point of view, it has definitely some interesting parts, and the components are really good. The counters, they look good. That's all fine, no doubt. But I really have a problem with the balance of the game. I'm not sure if maybe I'm playing that wrong, it's possible, but you cannot expect from people who play the game that they are that good, that they are that equally good, that they both played very, very on a high level, because I got a feeling once you fall a little bit behind, there is absolutely no way for you to come back. Okay, I mean, Sparta, they had terribly bad luck with their die rolls. That's absolutely clear. But I've played that game now for the third time, and every time I played it, after the first turn, the winner was absolutely predetermined. It was completely clear who will win and who will lose. Because, all these things are so intertwined. If you don't have enough prestige, you have so little options. You can only do very little military actions, but you also cannot really get your economy going, because gaining tribute is a military action. So without any prestige, it's also very hard to trade. And you need to trade to get wheat, and you need wheat to feed your people, and you need wheat to make your people to make your civilization grow, because that is what gives you then again prestige. And you see the point here. You can come very quickly in this downward spiral where you have less and less options, and we've seen it perfectly with Sparta. I mean, in the end, they simply couldn't do anything. They simply did not have any options to do anything at all. And to be honest, I think that must be a terribly frustrating experience. If you don't have any population, you cannot gain any hoplites. If you don't have any metal, you also cannot build any hoplites. But if you only have very little hoplites or no hoplites, there is nearly no way to get a lot of metal. And you also need prestige to get metal. And there is always these things that kind of work together, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's a real problem. I can accept for some reason in an abstract game, let's say in a game like chess or something. Yeah, you know, if I fall behind in chess and both players are kind of good, it's basically impossible to come back, which is fine. You know, that's okay for me. I can live with that. I can accept that, and then I simply give up and I'm fine. But this is not chess, and it feels more like I don't know, it feels like a game where you should have a chance to come back. And yeah, I don't know. And especially if someone plays that for the first time, I'm afraid you won't have any chance at all. But okay, that happens with, that's not only something that applies to this game. But still, the main critics for me is, once you're behind, no way to come back. Maybe I'm wrong here, I don't know. I've heard that there is a house rule which is pretty common that allows you, when you do the siege rolls, to add 1 after the first time. Maybe that would have improved Sparta's chances a little bit. Still, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, anyway. Hope to see you in the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.